not allowed to work overtime? I'll enjoy my Friday off. So, I'm full-time hourly at my job, which we all know means work weeks are 40 hours then go home. However, my job requires me to work overtime every few weeks during busy seasons because it's just the nature of the job. On Monday, my general manager flipped out on my coworker asking why she hit OT last week. She simply replied, "Well, you worked me 6 days straight and all of those days I was expected to work a full 8-hour day. If you don't want me hitting OT, don't work me 6 days straight." Fast forward to Tuesday. After said coworker told me about the conversation she and GM had, I was told I'd be working 7 days straight. Monday this Sunday, I mentioned I would hit OT. So coworker said I should work it and tell GM the same that she told him. I was told, no OT unless it's approved. My happy ass said, "That's fine. Friday will be my day off then. So don't contact me about doing work-related things. Today is Friday. I took the day off. I was blown up about work things that they needed help with and were so important. And I enjoyed my day on the couch searching for a rental for my vacation coming up at the beginning of the summer. Either pay me the OT or don't complain when things don't get done." I'm always curious what goes through someone's head when they get upset about this. 1. You won't let me work overtime. 2. The schedule you assigned me requires me to work overtime. These two things are mutually exclusive. Wow, this blew up. I'm heading back into work here shortly. We'll give everyone an update today. I worked for Mediacom, a US cable TV media company, for 5 years as a service technician. We were hounded about excessive overtime all the time. But when you schedule us 10 to 12 hours worth of repair jobs per day, how can you be surprised when we work that long? We expect 25% of jobs to cancel or not be available. Oh, you do? And what happens when they don't? Then there were we have too many repair jobs in the queue. Everyone has to work 6 days this week. This on top of the long days. Some of us worked 7 days a week because we were the on-call tech that week. Not only were we expected to respond to outages even if they happened at 2 a.m., but we also had regular work days every fucking day for the week we were on call. Saturday and Sunday included. There were weeks I had over 65 hours. We only had 3 techs that could do the on-call thing. At most when I left, there was 1 other tech. And the way the on-call schedule worked was such that half of it was in one pay period, half in the next. And without fail, come time for the pay period, there's much moaning and gnashing of teeth over the excessive overtime. Pay was shit. Even with the overtime, free cable TV is part of your pay. I don't have time to watch it. To top it off, I had to deal with customers. Fuck me sideways. Glad I left those fuckers. 2 years after I left them, I am back in trucking. I'm paid hourly, home every night, and don't work a single weekend unless I want to. No OT unless it's approved. Well, you have me scheduled for OT, so it looks approved. My wife was a manager for a chain restaurant that rhymes with Snapple peas. Anyways, she had 2 great cooks that she always gave overtime to. They easily did the work of 3 but were also the highest paid. She would constantly get yelled at for allowing them to hit OT. They would rather pay 3 guys to come and do what 1 man can do. Even with both of them on overtime, her labor was way below the allotted. But they would always scold her about the overtime. 1 guy getting $27 an hour that does great work or 3 guys at $13 each that do okay work. coworker once gave my phone number to a newbie so they could call me with a question at 6 a.m. on my day off. There's a reason I trust very few coworkers with my personal number. The few that have it are the few that respect personal time and will only use it A, to share memes, or B, when things are awfully dire and they would like to request, but don't demand or expect, my assistance. Needless to say, newbie and the guy that gave him my number are now effectively dead to me. Reaching the "fuck you, pay me" stage of employment is always a great feeling. Reminds me of my wife's job. She works at a major bank and is expected to complete a certain number of calls to drum up business each week or get yelled at. If she works a full week because she is busy with people that come in, she has to work unpaid overtime to complete the calls, or the branch will get yelled at for people working overtime. It's a giant case of wage theft, and I'm sure it's endemic to the whole bank, or at least her region. But everyone is playing along to keep their jobs. Definitely let us know the blowback when you go back in. This is just poor management. Your management should step in to ensure the workload gets done with no OT. Staggered shifts and balancing the work among the entire staff is crucial to managing with no OT. Even then, you have to have the courage to report to upper management when no OT is unrealistic and allow your most productive employees the OT and cut everyone else at 40 hours. The people who want OT may even step up and become more productive, so when OT comes up they are chosen. Doesn't work for every industry, but it works for a lot. Obviously, the company is struggling to balance their priorities and management is unable to manage. These are red flags. Update your resume and start looking at what's out there. There is probably a better job with better pay and benefits that you might be perfect for. I had this happen many times when I was a cook. I would be scheduled for about 38 hours to have a little cushion before reaching 40. Busy nights mean I would be asked to stay late to finish the dinner rush, sometimes multiple times per week. Then my boss would flip out in me for having to pay overtime. "You asked me to stay numbnuts." The best freakout was when he scheduled me something like 9 or 10 days straight over 2 pay periods. Neither period was over 40 hours, so it was all kosher to him. What he did not know, and I did not volunteer because I needed the money, was a local state law called Seventh Day Pay that is purely for the service industry. It states that regardless of how many hours you have worked, everything starting on the 7th consecutive day of work is paid as overtime. My boss lost his mind and reportedly, I did not witness it, flipped out on the bookkeeper, who told him he should know the labor laws he has to abide by. Lol, kinda similar. A whole bunch of coworkers kept calling, texting despite me being on vacation. I just hit ignore and archived their message. I am a manager for an apartment community. And when the maintenance tech has a lot of on-calls over the week and hits 40 hours, he's allowed to choose between going home or working at another property that's behind and getting paid the OT. He usually chooses to go home for a well-earned 3-day weekend. I'm glad the leadership at my company is not insane. Good job standing up for yourself. This expectation from companies that employees need to bend over backwards constantly needs to die. I read something in a book once that said when we work overtime for free, especially on a consistent or semi-consistent basis, we undermine the hard-fought battle of our predecessors who put their lives and their families' lives at risk to strike for better pay and better time off. Folks used to work 12 hours days 7 days a week in factories and mines and other demanding work environments. Many people died fighting for better labor rights. And we owe it to them to maintain these rights. We also owe it to ourselves to take better care of our needs and bodies and mental health. In case you are interested. The book is called Trauma Stewardship by Laura van der Noot-Lipsky, and I was forever changed by this very important point she made. Yeah, my overtime was approved by the schedule you made. You people need to stop working off the clock. Holy shit, either get paid your due OT or get paid when you sue them. The nature of my work is that I work 8 to 4, but if needed in case of emergencies we have to stay overtime without extra pay. Mind you, emergencies are few and far between. This job has other perks, so once in a while nobody minds. Also, if we stay overtime we get extra vacations, so win-win. When I changed department, my boss T called me in his office and told me that he expected me to work at least till 7 p.m. every day because I was new at that job and I had to work extra hard. I told him that if needed I would, otherwise it was pointless. 2 months in I noticed that I didn't need those extra hours of work at all. Nobody needed. Sometimes we would go 20 to 30 minutes over just by talking and walking to our cars, but mostly people would run home, and so did I. He was not amused. One day his boss was talking to me and said, "Are you getting paid extra?" No. Me either. So go home and good afternoon. It was fun seeing the head of T almost explode. He still mentions the working hard part, etc., but I am delivering results, Sue. You should answer the phone and say, "Hey, I have the State Department of Labor on the other line. We were chatting about this whole overtime thing. How about I merge the call and all three of us talk it out together?" Quote. Betting they hang up so fast tachyons start coming out of the phone. Following this story. My old job tried something similar. I traveled for work. Engineer for various IT jobs around the country. We got a new division head and his bright idea was twofold. 1. Get rid of the project coordinators and make us do it. 2. Limit us to 40 hours. We were all already working 50-plus hour weeks. One of our best guys who had been there for a decade just said that's fine. Flew to Boston on Monday. Worked the rest of the day. Started lining up future projects after work in his hotel. Worked for a couple of days and then flew home on Wednesday with the project half done at 40.3 hours. Flew back to Boston the next Monday. Worked rescheduled all his projects since Boston took 2 weeks now instead of 1. Flew back on Wednesday again. It cost the company something like $7,500 in missed deadlines, extra airfare, etc. for that project. It also pushed back all his projects a week. And then he did it again on his next project. And the next before anybody caught on. His entire timeline was pushed back a month and a half. Clients canceled on us, projects were lost. Tens of thousands of dollars gone, and HR refused to write him up because he was following their rules. But at least they didn't pay him overtime.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.